In the first polling video in this series, we looked at creating polls and editing polls in your personal meeting room. Part of this also looked at doing it in real time during a Zoom meeting, on the fly. Creating polls in recurring scheduled meetings looks a little different. Let's see.
This is Christina Treccia, and in this short video, we're going to look at how to create a poll again, this time in recurring meetings. All right, let's get started. Here I am in my Zoom account. You can see I've got settings here on the side, profile, meetings, webinars, recordings, settings. I'm going to go to meetings because we're looking at creating polls in recurring meetings. There's another video in this series about creating recurring meetings. So you can do that for different periods or different classes, each with its own link and different password. Let's head into one of these that we have already created. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this. I'm going to go to Edit, not Start. Just called it Thursdays. This is how you manage the polls in recurring meetings. You may be confused because as you scroll down, there aren't any polls, even at the bottom. But after you click Save is when you can see your polls. And that is just how they've done it. So now it's saved. I didn't make any changes. And I scroll down here and you can see my polls. So this recurring meeting right now has one poll associated with it. Let's add another poll. I go to Add, so follow my mouse to Add. You always have to give a title for the poll. So I'm going to give it a title. You can make it anonymous. It always looks anonymous, but if you don't click this, you can see responses when you do a report in Zoom. And if you don't make it anonymous, you should tell the people participating. So I'm going to go ahead and make mine anonymous because those are the best. People don't have their name connected to it and they're going to be honest, right? So we're going to do some type of formative assessment. So we're going to ask a question. This single choice and multiple choice can be kind of confusing. Single choice means you can only pick one. Multiple choice means you can check all the ones that you think apply. So you could provide a phenomena, something to be explained, and you could ask them, what do you think happened? Do you think scenario A happened? Do you think scenario B happened? Or scenario C is the best explanation? Or D? So that would be single choice. I'm going to scroll down, see how I can provide all these answers. I can also add another question, so a poll can have a couple different questions on it. I save it, and then in my meeting when I launch it, I get to limit the amount of time the poll is. So I can say you've got 30 seconds to answer the poll, you've got a minute to answer it, and I can watch the time tick down once I launch it. You can also delete old polls because they're always going to have the number that you entered them in. So I just made this one, it's the second one I've made, so it's going to be called Poll 2. Well, I'm not using poll 1 anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. I can also go in and edit this poll and make it multiple choice. So now when I launch it in the session, students or people in your meeting will be able to pick as many as they want. So it could be questions of what they relate to or a formative assessment. Again, multiple choice means you can pick a bunch or all of them, and single choice means you have to pick one. As long as you have polls created in your meeting, when you launch your meeting and go to the poll menu, you'll be able to launch your polls. Let's take a look at what that looks like. And now we're in a Zoom session. I have my video turned off. That's why the screen has all these options you might not have seen before. If you do a meeting without video, all of this information will be here. It gives you opportunity to still share a screen and join audio. So that's what this screen looks like. But what I want to draw your attention to is what is down here. This is the host menu. So if you've run some Zoom sessions or even if you're new to it, this might be kind of familiar. So you've created polls, now go to polling. Here are your polls. Wait a minute, there's only one poll? Nope, all your polls are there. Click on the caret, any arrow down, click on it, and then there are all the polls you have created for that meeting, whether it's your personal meeting room or your recurring meeting room. And as we showed before, you click edit, it will send you right back to your account to edit polls in real time so you can create them on the fly. But remember, when you go to launch a poll, you see one pop up and you think, I have 10 polls. Why just this first poll? Click the caret and then you can choose which poll. You launch it. You can watch the time tick down and you can watch it real time as participants select their choices. This is a forced selection. So again, that's the single choice versus the multiple choice. When I end the poll, because I see everyone's voted, I can choose to share the results with everyone, or I can relaunch it again, which erases everything that came before, and we can do it again. So you could have a quick check-in poll that you're doing every 5 minutes, 10 minutes with your participants to keep them engaged. You can share the results with them and it pops up on their page as a participant so they can see if it's relevant to the group. Always remember to stop sharing after you've shared the results. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. As I mentioned in the first video, research shows that polling is one of the most engaging ways to engage in distance learning in this video life that we're in now. So think about when to use them, be strategic, but also do it on the fly. Check in. Make your participants, your students, or other adults in meetings with you feel like their thoughts matter and that they're participating. Polls are popular, and I hope now you see why.